What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Sometimes in college football, when you're starting a dynasty, it's not about picking the best team. It's about finding that player that makes you want to dive into the save and build your whole dynasty around them. So today, we're going to dive into some of the best freshman players that you can make the cornerstone of your dynasty. Some of them are going to be obvious 5 stars. Some of them will be hidden gems down in the G5 conferences. Some might not be rated crazy right away, but their archetype is what matters, and they're the kind of player that you can build a multi-year save around. So we've got 6 groups of archetypes of true freshmen that you're going to want to build around, including quarterbacks who can change a program, a duo of freshmen at Boise State, 3 big play receivers, some super athletic tight ends, some monster pass rushers, and some super athletic users slash safeties slash linebackers slash hybrids slash whatever you want. So let's hop into it. All right, let's get things started with the quarterbacks. And here's your headliner, the #1 dual threat quarterback in the country last year. It's Keyshawn Henderson, and he signed with Houston. Now, looking at his high school scouting report, I mean, this is the kind of quarterback you want to have. The only real knock on him is that he doesn't have a huge arm, but has a big enough arm. It says short to intermediate passing ability, has grown exponentially year over year, spread commander and dynamic athlete at the quarterback position. And as you can see here, he says they say that he reminds them of Jordan Love over at 24/7 Sports. So there's a little comparison for you. Maybe not a burner like Michael Vick, but he's definitely got wheels. 6'5", 195, prototype size. Let's take a look at his launch day ratings. You're going to see he's already pretty good. 81 overall as a true freshman with 87 speed, 90 acceleration, 91 agility, 80 break tackle. He doesn't have good trucking or stiff arm, but 80 break tackle, 66 carrying. So you got to be careful, either boost that up or make sure you slide with him. But he does have a good juke move and spin move for somebody at his height. And then his throwing stats, as you can see, we talked about it, big arm but not a cannon, 89 throw power, 79 throw under pressure, leaves a little bit to be desired. But then you've got 90, 85, and 83 for his 3 key accuracies. Really good for a freshman. And then 87 throw on the run as well. All right, moving on to our second quarterback. It is Jared Curtis, the '2 quarterback in the country last year, #1 pro-style quarterback, and he shocked the world by signing with Vanderbilt instead of Georgia out of high school. 6'3", 230 out of Nashville. Gets compared to another former Vanderbilt quarterback, Jay Cutler, a real gunslinger. As you can see, gifted quarterback prospect with the arm size, creativity, and swagger to emerge as a high-level distributor for a college football playoff contender. They go on and on about his great arm here. Played some running back during his youth, makes him dangerous on design runs and scrambles as he can power his way through defenders. And he regularly makes things happen off script, can also play with structure, so he should have a good throw on the run. Now, not every player has had their rating released by EA Sports. As you can see, I tried to search for him here. Some true freshmen will not be in the game on launch for early access, but will get added on the opening day update. And I know a lot of people wait to add that. I don't know what the reasoning for that is, whether freshmen have an issue with getting freshman NIL in time or anything like that. But so far, we can't look at his ratings, but he will be in the game eventually. Now we go to somebody who's a little bit more under the radar, but really has the potential to be a great player for you. How about Northern Illinois quarterback Bryce Brown, another freshman, 6'6", 200, only a 3-star coming out of high school. You can see, though, he did lead his team to a 10-2 record, 60% completion, leaves a little bit to be desired, but he had 1,460 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and carried the ball 39 times for 62 yards and 5 touchdowns. This is not super impressive, but he does have some speed. He is in the game, so we can go ahead and take a look. Now, only a 64 at launch, but keeping in mind, Keyshawn Henderson was the #1 player, and he was an 81. And you're playing for Northern Illinois. You're not playing in the Big 12 or the SEC like Henderson or Curtis. And if you look at his base stats, he's really got a lot to build on. Got 81 speed, 83 acceleration. Remember, he's 6'6", so he's kind of a pocket passer that can move a little bit. He's got 80 change of direction, a little bit of spin, a little bit of juke, nothing great there, but 82 break sack, again, helps him get out of the pocket. And he comes with 88 throw power and 79 throw on the run stock. So again, as a true freshman, if you're just going to focus, if you'll just like maybe get this throw power up to 90 or above and get these accuracies up to something usable, along with all of his physical traits, this is a quarterback that, I mean, you might have to fight to keep him from jumping in the transfer portal. All right, moving on to our next section, we have a pair of prospects on both sides of the ball for the Boise State Broncos, starting with 4-star wide receiver Terrius Favors out of Atlanta, Georgia, all the way over to Boise. As you can see here, compared to LeJontay Wester of the Baltimore Ravens, a bit of a Swiss Army knife with track speed that should be viewed as a potential game-changing offensive weapon. He is only 5'9", 163, kind of in that Malachi Toney build. Maybe you can have him come out. He's going to be a slot receiver that, like it says, it can stress the defenses on slot fades and post routes, but also you're going to get it to him on the bubbles. You're going to put him as your gadget halfback. You're going to have him as your kick returner. He's going to do pretty much everything for you. We take a look at his in-game ratings, and as a freshman, he's already a 79 overall with 94 speed, 96 acceleration, 92 change of direction. Let's take a look at the receiving stats. The route running does leave a bit to be desired, so that's what I would probably focus on first. Short route running, medium route running particularly. We also want to get his catch and traffic up so that he can play the slot. But I mean, as a freshman, 79 overall, 94 speed, 96 acceleration, I mean, he's going to turn into a demon for you. Now looking at the other side of the ball for Boise, you have Adam Austin, listed as a linebacker, 6'1", 228, used to play safety, so you can play him at safety or linebacker. This is somebody who not quite as highly touted as Terrius Favors, but looks to be a very good player to use as a user. Like it says, experience at several spots, including safety, linebacker, nickel, and off the edge. So he's going to be a Swiss Army knife for you on defense. Maybe somebody you can use as your sub linebacker. He is one of those freshmen that's not in the game yet, but will be added probably in a later update. That gives you one player on each side of the ball to build around if you choose to start a Boise State dynasty. All right, moving on, we're going to look at a trio of big-time freshman receivers, starting off with one of the obvious ones. It's Chris Henry Jr. for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, he gets to line up opposite of Jeremiah Smith, 6'5", 195, the son of former Bengals receiver Chris Henry, who sadly passed away at an early age. He was raised by Adam Pac-Man Jones, the cornerback from West Virginia. As you can see, compared to Nico Collins in his 24/7 scouting report, he has a monster catch radius, plays above defenders with his reach. Again, 6'5", not the most refined route runner, so something you may want to focus on early on in your dynasty. And it does seem like he has a little bit of an issue staying healthy, but if he does stay healthy, he should be probably the best receiver in the country in your dynasty in a couple years. Again, one of those players that's not on the roster yet. Look for him to be added in an opening day update. Then moving down south, we have TK Keys, the only receiver that was rated above Chris Henry Jr., and he's at Tennessee. And why is he going to make an impact? Because receivers at Tennessee always do. Chris Brazell, Jalen Hyatt, Dante Thornton, etc., etc. This offense produces numbers, and he's going to step in. Like I said, Chris Brazell gone. He has a potential to fill in for him as the top receiver in this offense, and he is projected or reminds them of CD Lamb at 24/7. I mean, that is one of the best receivers in the league. 6'1", 194. Explodes out of his stance, will rock defenders to sleep as he glides across the field before quickly shifting gears and creating separation. I mean, they are just drooling over this guy. Terrific in contested catch situations. It says must get healthy and avoid further setbacks. So, you know, again, somebody who might have some injury issues. We'll see how they rate him in that perspective. He, again, is not quite on the roster yet. We'll get added at a later update. And then we have another legacy wide receiver. This is Tatum Bell Jr., not quite as highly touted as the other two, but he signed with UNLV out of high school, 6', 200, son of former NFL running back Tatum Bell. And he comes into UNLV as a freshman at 70 overall, which really isn't bad. He's getting 87 speed, 88 acceleration, 85 change of direction, 85 agility. You look at the receiving, this is where you're going to want to look at things. 73 catching, 75 spectacular catch, and then his route running, is close to being acceptable for being on a UNLV roster. So really focus on that route running for him, kind of polish him up. But otherwise, 75 break tackle, 77 spin, 82 juke. I mean, he's going to be able to get out there and catch the ball and make some moves and create a legacy for himself. All right, moving on, let's talk about the uber athletic tight ends. And we got to start with Kendre Harrison up in Eugene, Oregon. 6'7", 243, 4-star, number 50 overall prospect, number 4 tight end in the class. I mean, come on, dude. Got compared to Martellus Bennett in his high school scouting report. Modern day giant, special athlete for his size, has the hands, coordination, and burst to be a matchup nightmare for defenders. He's gonna dominate in the red zone. He's gonna dominate in line. He's gonna dominate when you flex him out. He's gonna kill the seams. He's gonna be huge in the play action game. He's gonna be huge, period. Again, one of those freshmen not quite on the opening day roster. Look for him to be added with a roster update. Then we move down the West Coast for Mark Bowman at USC, another freshman, number 2 tight end in the country, number 42 overall player, 6'4", 235, going to be used a lot in this Lincoln Riley spread air raid scheme compared to Trey McBride, one of the most productive tight ends in the league. They say he is one of the more promising tight end prospects to emerge in recent cycles. So while Kendre Harrison might have been the athletic freak, you've got Mark Bowman here, who's a little bit more refined and polished. He forewent his senior year of high school, and he's playing at 18 years old at USC. He is in the game on the opening day roster, and you can see an 82 overall as a freshman, 87 speed, 90 acceleration, 80 break tackle. Not the best blocker in the world, only 60 run block, 58 pass block, but that's not what we have him here for. Look at the receiving skills, 84 catching, 90 spectacular catch, 77 catch in traffic, 81 short route running, 79 medium, and 74 deep route running. I mean, he is as polished as they come for a true freshman. You can put him out there day one and lead the conference, lead the Big Ten in receiving with him if you really want to. Then if you want a little bit more of a big fish in a small pond kind of vibes, you can go with App State's Jamel House, 6'4", 240, a 3-star prospect, 37th ranked tight end in the country, goes to App State and the Mountaineers, and he's pretty athletic too. You can see he ran a 4.68 40, had a 23-inch vertical and a 9.8 broad jump with a 4.37 shuttle. So pretty quick for a guy his size. Could be a really dominant player for App State in a smaller conference. All right, moving on here, I have 2 monster edge rushers that can make an immediate impact at lower prestige P5 schools. First, starting with Zion Ely, the number 10 overall prospect in the country, number 3 edge, signed with Maryland. Probably, and this is just me going off of memory, probably their highest rated recruit since Stephon Diggs, if I had to guess. Ely compared to former Alabama star Will Anderson by 24/7. They say he was built in a lab to get after the quarterback, 6'4", 225. And as you can see, he is already in the game at launch, 83 overall as a true freshman, 91 speed, 95 acceleration, 90 finesse moves, 91 pursuit. We're going to want to work on that play recognition a little bit. But besides that, and that tackle, that needs to go up some and get that stamina up. But otherwise, he's got the raw traits to be a really dominant pass rusher for all 4 years of your first dynasty. And moving down to the Big 12, we have Texas Tech's LaDamian Guyton, a 4-star prospect. Picked Tech over Alabama, Auburn, Florida, and Florida State. Looks like he was actually predicted to go to Georgia at one point as well. Compared to Donovan Ezeraku of the Dallas Cowboys, projected to be around 2 to 3 pick in a few years. He is a speed rusher, also forewent his senior year of high school. But unfortunately, another one of those players where we have to wait on the first roster update to get him in. We can't look at him, but if I had to guess, if Zion Ely was an 83, we can expect Guyton to be at least an 80 or an 81. One of the most talented players to ever sign with Texas Tech out of high school. All right, and moving to our last archetype, looking at these freshmen that can make an immediate impact, we gotta look for the freak athletes the hybrid linebacker safeties, the people that are going to make interceptions all over your field, and people you can potentially user in the middle of your defense. And we got to start with a guy who's already drawing comparisons to another former Notre Dame safety, Kyle Hamilton. It's Joey O'Brien, again, at Notre Dame. 6'5", 203 at safety. I mean, I probably want to leave that height up top for when people try to bomb me, but you can definitely move him down in the box and user him. He gets a comparison to Justin Simmons from 24/7. And like I said, he is comfortable handling a center field role with his top gear, but his eyes and reach make him an effective lurking guy underneath. I mean, he can be like, you know, Justin Simmons or Kyle Hamilton and play up top, or he can be like Eric Gentry was for us last year and be a rangy, quick user linebacker. Now, he is already in the game. We've got him here as an 81 overall as a true freshman. 91 speed, 90 acceleration. I'd like to see more top end speed from a free safety. So maybe you start with him in the box, and as you improve that top end speed, you get him up top. He does have 75 tackling, which is not bad for a safety, 89 pursuit. I want to see how he does getting off of blocks. Here it is. 65 block shedding is not ideal. So if you are going to play him in the box, maybe you boost his block shedding first, because it'll be cheaper to boost his block shedding up to, 70, 75, and then you start saving up to boost his speed so you can move him up top. But otherwise, I mean, really, really good stats. 83 zone, 77 man. Again, as a true freshman, you can't ask for much more than that, especially considering his height. Now, a couple smaller school prospects for you. First, we're going to start out with UTEP's Kane White Tinsley. Now, he's not as large as our last guy, Joey O'Brien. He's 5'11", 178, but he's listed as a linebacker, and what makes that unique, he really is a hybrid. He was a safety in high school. He was a safety in high school, so you can play him at safety or you can play him in the box as a user. He is in the game. Only a 67 overall as a freshman, but some good raw stats. Again, keeping in mind that we're playing with UTEP here. So 85 speed, 87 acceleration, 72 tackling, 80 pursuit. 78 man, 77 zone is great for a linebacker. Again, you can really play him anywhere on the field. You can make him your nickel. You can use him as your user. You can play him up top. Kane White Tinsley, a great hybrid defender for you to build a defense around. And last but not least, for New Mexico, we have Josh Mensah out of Fontana, California, 6 foot, 170. He's listed as a cornerback, but as you can see here, a two-way athlete. He can play on either side of the ball at the college level, offers a ton of positional versatility, can play receiver, safety, or corner, but likely projects best in the secondary. He has a corner frame, but you can play him, again, either at corner or safety. I love the versatility, especially if he has team player, if EA does him right and gives him the team player a quirk or ability, I guess. And you can play him at wide receiver and DB. Insane. And as we take a look here, another 67 overall, keeping in mind that we're playing at New Mexico as a freshman. But look at these raw stats. 90 speed, 91 acceleration, 90 agility, 92 jumping. On defense, he's raw. You've got a lot of polishing to do. Pretty well-rounded here. I mean, as you upgrade, everything is going to upgrade, kind of in line with each other. So when you get his man coverage to 85, his zone coverage will probably be an 80. So he'll stay well-rounded as you upgrade him. And he does have some receiving stats: 82 spectacular catch, 76 catch in traffic, 70, 68, and 74 route running. I mean, that's better than some of the receivers we looked at earlier. I'm hoping that they give him that team player ability so that you can play him both ways. It'll be one of the most interesting players. I mean, really, really the story of building an entire team, an entire dynasty around one player. So that's going to wrap it up for us here. And is that every freshman that matters? No. Was it the highest rated freshman for every position? No. But what I wanted to do was give you an idea of some good players that you can build programs around, some good storylines, some good traits to look out for when you're digging for your own gems through those rosters. So let me know down in the comments below, which freshmen are you looking forward to building around? Who are some under the radar G5 freshmen that I might have missed? And do we want to see a video like this, but for transfer portal players? Let me know what you think. As always, you're super appreciated. We will see you next time. Peace out.